Bentonville Municipal Airport, automated weather observation, 1450, Zulu, wind 19er, 0 at 09er, visibility 10, sky conditions clear, temperature -01 Celsius, dew point -07 Celsius, altimeter 3026, remarks, freezing rain, information not available.
Departure Squawk 0403, departure frequency 126.6.
Squawk 0403, 851 Sierra Papa.
Razorback clearance deliver, CirruslyAB Whiskey Hotel at Bentonville. I've got a question before we get the IFR. Can you get a second?
November 328 Whiskey Hotel, Razorback departure, go ahead with the question.
We'd like to take off and fly our first leg at about 2,500 feet, which is along Beaver Lake, until we get to Onity. I didn't know if you'd want me to depart VFR and pick it up in the air, or if you'd like to have us do a VFR detour while under IFR clearance, whatever's easiest for you guys. 8 Whiskey Hotel.
November Whiskey Hotel, it was the easiest for you to depart VFR and to remain VFR at 2,500. Since that's below our MVA, and then once you're ready to climb above that, we can give you the IFR clearance.
Roger that. And can I get then VFR flight flying for that piece, 8 Whiskey Hotel?
Mary Whiskey Hotel, Squawk 0423, and departure frequency is 126.6.
0423 and 126.6, 8 Whiskey Hotel. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Bentonville traffic, Cirrus328 Whiskey Hotel, holding short of Alpha 3 for VFR departure to the south on 18 Bentonville.
Another plane coming in.
Where do you see him?
To the left. He's,
yeah.
He's descending here.
We'll hold short of that guy. That would definitely not be.
We wouldn't have time to get off.
And that's why Natalie's job is to spot the planes.
Y'all can join.
Just so you know, we're going to back taxi here, and then I'm going to full throttle with the brakes on to make sure the engine's okay, because this plane does have one thing where it's supposed to be at 2,500 RPM, and it only gets to 2,450. I usually in this type of weather, with this type of weight, with everything, it's totally fine. But I want to make sure that it's good to go, and then I'll release the brakes and we'll take off at that point. All right, nobody else is in the pattern, and I haven't heard.
Is this guy coming this way? I don't know if he just landed.
It'd be all right. Bentonville traffic, Cirrus328 Whiskey Hotel, back taxi for 18 VFR departure to the south, Bentonville.
Bentonville traffic, Carmen 9601 uniform is 5 miles east, entering 45-degree left downwind Bentonville.
All right, toga button. Time is going to be 8:59, flaps set.
And Bentonville traffic, every 9 Charlie Delta is clear of 18.
Bentonville traffic, Skyhawk 851 Sierra Papa, holding short runway 18 at Alpha 3 for southeast departure.
All right, everybody good?
Yes. Good.
Bentonville traffic, Cirrus328 Whiskey Hotel, taking off of 18 for a southbound departure, 8 Whiskey Hotel, or Bentonville traffic.
Bentonville traffic, Grumman 9601 uniform.
All right, 35.1, 2430, we're all right.
Here you go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, airspeed's alive, 70, and rotate. And away we go.
It feels so much smoother than a commercial.
Yeah. Well, the center of gravity, you're more close to the center of gravity, and the arm is less. So
Yeah.
it's definitely easier. All right, clear of obstacles, above 90, flaps coming up.
8510 Papa departing runway 1 southeast.
You'll see Top Golf in a minute. The boys love it when we fly
Yeah,
into
we'll
that.
maybe fly over
Like our house is
Life.Church.
back here. Oh, Life.Church, yeah.
That's so cool.
All right.
Bentonville traffic. Grumman 9601 uniforms entering a 45-degree left downwind for 18 Bentonville.
You can get better pictures back here.
Bentonville traffic, Cirrus328 Whiskey Hotel, departing to the south. Bentonville.
Bentonville traffic from
Razorback departure, Cirrus328 Whiskey Hotel. Good morning. 2 miles off of Bentonville at 2,000, climbing to 2,500.
November 328 Whiskey Hotel, Razorback departure, ident, save altimeter 3026.
Ident at 3026, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
Mary Whiskey Hotel, radar contact, 3 miles southeast of Bentonville Airport. OZ1 navigation.
Zoom out navigation, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
And November 8 Whiskey Hotel, just advising you're ready to climb and pick up the IFR.
We'll advise just around Onity, and when we're ready to pick up IFR, 8 Whiskey Hotel. Alright, so
I guess Top Golf's on my side.
Yeah, I'm going to turn off heading, because I kind of want to fly this a little manually at this point. Trying to stay clear of... Life.Church should be somewhere, like, probably, actually it's right below us, actually. Right? It's like, yeah, because I'm following
target.
Yeah, so it's literally right below your spot right now.
Hotel, you can expect 7,000 for right direction of flight.
Yeah, we're going over it right now.
7,000, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
Rogers High School.
Yeah. When you fly this low, you can really get the picture of just how fast you're going. Yeah.
Razorback Skyhawk 8510 Papa at 2300 for Springdale.
There we go. Life.Church.
November 8510 Papa, Razorback departure, ident, save altimeter 3025.
I think last time we were climbing, you can see a lot more at this level.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to fly at this, was because it's a lot more picturesque. Once you get up to like 6,000 or 7,000, you're like just not there. And we're okay at this altitude.
November 8 Whiskey Hotel.
We'll save the rest of this climb checklist for when we're actually on our normal cruise.
November 8 Whiskey Hotel, in coordination with other facilities, would you be able to climb at least to 3,000 to pick up your clearance in our airspace?
Yeah, we can climb to 3,000 right now, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
November 8 Whiskey Hotel, Roger. Maintain, are you able to maintain your on-terrain assessment clearance to 3,200?
Yeah, we can maintain that to 3,200, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
November 8 Whiskey Hotel, if I'm reaching 3,200, you're clear to Mike 01 Airport via direct Onity asphalt. I'm maintain 7,000, squawk 1605.
1605. Sorry, we had some traffic that was pretty close to us right there. I got the 1605, but I got nothing else besides that, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
November 8 Whiskey Hotel, it's I'm reaching 3,200. You're clear to Mike 01 Airport via direct Onity. Then is filed. Climb and maintain 7,000.
All right, cleared to Mike 01, direct Onity. Then as filed at 3,200. Then at 7,000, we will squawk 1065, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
That's 1605 for November 8 Whiskey Hotel. Climb maintain 7,000.
1605 up to 7,000, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
Head back 209 Mike Delta, level 3,000.
2009 and Mike Delta, Razorback departure radar contact, climb maintain 15,000, proceed on course Razorback.
On course Razorback up to 15,000, Niner Mike Delta.
Okay. Transponders 1605, we'll do 3,200 until we get to Onity, and then we will climb to 7,000 after that. And then we will, I'll let you fly. Let's make this a little colder. But yeah, that was like, did you see that plane?
That was close.
That was the closest I've ever had a plane to us.
Without them telling us.
Well, and they didn't tell us, and this didn't tell us. Which that makes me wonder, like, everybody's supposed to be on ADS-B out, and he was not on my screen.
I didn't see him.
Oh man, well, it's closely
Whiskey Hotel, verify climbing to 7,000.
Oh, climbing to 7,000 now, 8 Whiskey Hotel. I did not realize that's what he wanted me to do. I wouldn't have agreed to that.
I was going to tell you, we were right by my aunt and uncle's cabin.
Your aunt and uncle's cabin?
Yeah.
Did you get a picture of it?
I didn't, but I was like, we both that all the time.
Pull it up more.
Like this?
Yeah.
Sorry. I had it far away so you didn't hear me sniffling.
Full power.
Oh, there's the dam. Do you see it, Michael?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's so cool.
Alright, Whiskey Hotel, contact Springfield approach 124.95.
124.95, 8 Whiskey Hotel. Springfield approach, Cirrus328 Whiskey Hotel, 4,100, climbing to 7,000. Let's do a cruise climb.
328 Whiskey Hotel, approach altimeter 3020.
3020, 8 Whiskey Hotel. Alright, we'll
Envoy 4071.
do a 130.
Okay, I'll go first,
Well, that's not exactly what I wanted to do, but you at least got some of it down low. You can see even now we're at like 5,000 feet and how the picture changes.
Yeah.
I probably just should have VFR departed and not been on flight following with them, but especially since the whole reason you do flight following even when you're not on an IFR flight plan is because you want them helping you out looking for traffic.
Yeah.
And that plane was, they should have alerted me to that. I honestly am not sure if they saw that plane or they see that plane, because they usually will say, even if you're VFR, they'll be like traffic, 12 o'clock, 2 miles. And that guy was probably only 500 feet.
I was going to say, usually when they're telling you there's like a pretty good distance, like 2,000 feet. That one was not 2,000 feet.
Well, and then they had me climb. It would have actually been better if I just stayed at 2,500, but we were climbing to 3,200. He was probably at 3,000 maybe. Maybe 3,500. He was probably at 3,500.
Is he above you?
Or he was above me. He came right over here. I saw him in plenty of time, but definitely, that was definitely the closest I've ever been to another aircraft in the sky. So, anyways. Alright, so when we'll let you fly here once we get past Onity, and as we approach Harrison, what you're gonna do is, when we fly, is see these, you see how we're like below these purple boxes right here, right now?
Yeah.
That's because we're climbing. It's basically taking us up to 7,000. When you are flying, you're going to try, it's going to be a little bit, it's already going to be level. We're going to be flying through those purple boxes, and your job is just to basically keep you in those purple boxes.
Springfield,
And then, if you've got sort of decent control of the plane at that point, you can kind of look outside more, but initially kind of focus on keeping this within those boxes.
Okay.
The nice thing about this plane, or the bad thing depending on who you ask, is the controls are spring-loaded, which means that they have a tendency to kind of hold where they're supposed to be as long as the aircraft is trimmed correctly.
350.
But it does take a little bit more effort to do. Like a Cessna is a lot more lighter on the controls. So you'll get a feel for it. And by some chance, if I tell you I'm taking the controls back immediately, like just let go. All you gotta do is just let go of the controls. All right. So, yeah. Gonna slow us down to 30.5. Go. All right, at 30.5. Good. Because we are on an IFR flight plan, I'm going to be a little bit more sensitive to us staying like where we need to stay. So if we get off track, there's two different things. There's this concept, right? Like you aviate, you navigate, you communicate. Those are the three kind of order priority of how you fly. And aviate means like, are we level? Are we got the right speed? Are we not close to stalling, et cetera, right? So that's the main safety issue, especially if you're not in the mountains or anything like that. Like aviate is the most important thing always, and you can be completely safe essentially just by aviating. Navigating is staying on track, right? Is navigating how you want to do things, which is very important, obviously, in the mountains. At 7,000 feet up here, navigating is less important because there's not a lot of things to hit. But since we're on an IFR flight plan, they're very concerned about how we're navigating, because if we start going off track, they're like, what are you doing? You should, And so if we get off track, I might pull us back on track or whatever, but that's only mainly because we're on IFR. Just because I pull it back doesn't necessarily mean that we're in you're flying unsafely. It just means that we're getting a little bit further off track. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Take it off autopilot. We're at 30.5. We're doing good there.
You can contact power on 19.9.
Okay.
That's for 5 Sierra Bravo.
5 Sierra Bravo. Hey, perfect. Clear approach runway 20 and
Alright, so in theory, yeah, that's the autopilot off. So in theory, you're just trying to keep this little green thing in this box, right? This should in theory stay at 7,000, but as long as you're following this, you're alright. So you're going to have to, let me trim this a little bit over to the
VFR.
I don't want to make it too easy, because then that makes it, you're not really doing anything, and that's going to be not fun, right? So, alright, so you put your hand on there. Your controls?
My controls?
Your controls, alright. This way.
How do I go down?
Just push forward. Just a little. Yeah.
Your husband's flying the plane.
Over to the left.
So whiskey contact Memphis Center 126.85 good day.
Am I good?
Keep going, yeah.
Trying not to do it too fast.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's actually the opposite problem I have, and also the opposite problem most initial pilots have is that we're very sort of jerky.
Wing in, push you a little bit. Turn right heading of 230 to join.
230 to join. Under you at Papa.
Wind's being pretty pesky today.
This is being pretty pesky today.
Right, Whiskey Hotel, contact Memphis Center 126.85.
126.85, 8 Whiskey Hotel. Memphis Center, good morning. Cirrus328 Whiskey Hotel at 7,000.
328 Whiskey Hotel, Memphis Center, Roger Harrison, alternative 3025.
3025, 8 Whiskey Hotel. That's pretty good.
Now I want to know how this compares to playing Switch and Mario Kart and
That's true. Probably why you
Yeah.
do that.
all that.
I figured we'll at least let you fly till Harrison, because we're going to have to make a pretty, you'll see this will make a significant kind of left turn. That should be in about 3 minutes. You can fly as long or as little as you want, as long as you're staying on course.
See a picture.
So it's up to you, but in about 3 minutes we're going to make a I don't know,
Oh yeah, sorry.
maybe a 60-degree turn to the left.
Contact Memphis approach 100.1.
But it will, the boxes will automatically turn kind of for you. So again, all you're doing is following the boxes.
We can do another one because it's like.
It's
Let's try this so that way it's zoomed out a little bit.
Oh yeah.
All right, go down just a little bit. 2.
Oh, going up, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's... In theory, they can't tell that closely, but... There we go, nice and wide. Michael Manut, worship leader.
Worship
leader,
Romeo.
casual pilot.
900 Romeo Papa, we are 10 miles west-northwest of Hotel Bravo Zulu, and we'd like to pick up some flight following to
Pretty good, just a little bit down.
Roger, what's that aircraft?
C-182.
Hard to keep it down.
Yeah, it wants to climb. It's probably, I could probably trim it down a little bit, but I'm not going to change the trim while you're flying, because that can kind of mess with you a little bit.
15,
00 Romeo Papa, radar contact 10 miles west of Beaver.
You're doing good, man.
Thanks.
We're currently at 4,000. We'll be climbing to 6,500 Romeo Papa.
0 Romeo Papa, right?
I don't know if I've ever flown a Cirrus.
You haven't. After the Cessna debacle where you just stopped flying, I haven't let you fly anymore.
You'll let our 4-year-old do it, but you won't let your wife do it.
Oh, well, he'll tell me when he stops flying. He won't tell me when he starts flying, but he'll tell me when he stops flying. All right, so we're coming up. So definitely, you're doing good. Yeah, so it's going to basically ask you to turn in about 8 seconds. Just keep following that, but you are going to be turning this way, so it's going to feel like you're doing more than what you were doing before.
Okay.
So do your best to kind of keep it at 77,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing good. It's fine. All right, turning left now, so just keep following the pink boxes here. A little bit more. There we go. Not too much. There we go. That's me. That's not you. I'm keeping it coordinated.
Thank you.
All right, now level out.
Thank you.
You're all right. You're all right. If we weren't on IFR, I wouldn't even care about that. Back down just a little bit. Go. All right, that's me. That's not you. All right. Go a little bit to the left.
Working on it.
All right.
Hard.
No worries. Just a little bit.
So hard to keep it at 7,000.
Yeah. And there's a way to make it a little bit easier. We can adjust the trim.
United Bravo Whiskey cross 35 miles north of Little Rock at a
Level it out.
10,000 Little Rock.
All right, keep it right like that. You should probably
35
be
north of Little Rock at
decent.
10,000, United Bravo Whiskey.
Oh crap.
All right. You want it back?
Yeah. You want, I got it back. My controls?
You got it?
My controls.
You did good.
Yeah.
Real good. Was that fun?
It hurts. My hand was like cramping up.
Yeah. I did like 4 hours one day where we flew from Bentonville to Tulsa, to this like random airport in the middle of, I can't even, it's like Okanoe or something like that, like south of Tulsa, and then Fort Smith, and then back to Bentonville, and we shot approaches at all those places. And just to the nature of some of it, I hand flew the approaches more than what I probably normally would do if I had to do 4 in one day. I was exhausted. I mean, by the time, like my hand hurt after like doing all that hand flying during the approaches.
And it's
you also get a little bit better. Like you'll get, like you can see here, like you know, you can kind of like not like have a death grip on the thing. When you're new, and even like when I'm doing an approach, I probably usually have a death grip on it too at this stage of my piloting. But like when you're just kind of flying level, you can see you can just kind of use your elbow, put your hand here, and just kind of make real small, minute changes. But even that, after a while, would get tiring.
Honestly, I think the hardest part is because it, like you said, it wants to climb, which I know you said there's ways to change
you can like knock down this trim just a little bit. In theory, and a well-trimmed aircraft, in theory, means that you could like let go of it and it would fly basically exactly how you want. Now you see when I let go of it, it didn't exactly start climbing because I notched it down a trim there just a little bit from what you had it at.
Yeah.
But it does want to start turning, and so then in theory you trim it a little bit over to the left and it should hold.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like I must not be that good of a pilot because I can't ever get a Cirrus trimmed well enough that I can just like let go of it and it'll just kind of, that's not too bad. But you can see where it's now going down just a little bit.
Yeah.
It would keep going down. The way this trim works, it's electronic, versus like in a Cessna you've got like a dial that you can like really like make fine, minute changes. This one, it's like you have to like just barely tap it to make a minute change. And it's just not. It's nice. It's just not designed to do that. But yeah, you can see like right now, hands off.
Yeah.
Basically 7. Basically flying the heading of 091, which is what's keeping us on track at the moment. So it's not too bad.
So I was watching this a lot because I kept watching it go up.
Yep.
I wasn't really watching the purple boxes until we were turning.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, the purple boxes will, as long as you're flying through the purple boxes, it takes into account this.
Yeah, okay.
And so it takes into account your vertical and your lateral. And so, but especially the speech that I gave you about being on IFR, like it's easy to get, you can see it's easy to get fixated on one thing, right? Like you weren't probably even at all paying attention to your airspeed, which airspeed is arguably the most important thing because if you're, that's what will cause your aircraft to stall.
Nice.
But you can see how if you start to have a problem, one of the big things in training pilots is that if you start to have a problem, one of the things that's just sort of human nature that you got to get trained out of as a pilot is don't get fixated on one thing. So like if in your situation you were fixed on the altitude because I gave you that whole spiel, but if you were really the one in pilot and command expected to, for the safety of everybody on board, you're following your duties because you're only focusing on one thing. For all you know, you're bleeding off airspeed and you don't even realize that you're going to be close to a stall.
Yeah.
Or you're way off track and you're flying into a mountain or whatever. So those are the type of things that in training you just get used to, like doing a scan the whole time.
So autopilot's on now?
No, autopilot's not on right now. It's just pretty well trimmed. And so this is what I'm talking about. Like I'm not really making much changes. It's ping-ponging between, let's say, 740 and 7,000. I'm having to put a little bit of left aileron correction in to keep us from going too far that way. Yeah. But you can see, like, I'm basically flying with my thumb at the moment. Yeah. And even if I let go for a second, it's not like we're just instantly off track. So, but I am going to put the autopilot on because there's no real point in still doing this. So we'll hit nav and we'll hit altitude. And
did your family know you were flying today?
Yeah,
they did.
They thought it was so cool.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
I will not sing happy birthday to you. I will spare you.
You married a good singer, so the standards are too high to sing happy birthday from the Borgmans because we do not have any ability to sing at all.
I don't either. And the perk of having a twin was I always hated getting sung happy birthday to, but I always had someone with me, so I was like, I'm not alone.
That's funny.
So yeah.
4510.
How old are you, Carmen?
1525, 3039er.
Oh, good times, your 20s.
There's another airport over there. On your left.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Those are the other things you learn to spot.
yeah, she's good at that.
4510.
Well, and the first time you'd be like, well, in case you need to land, like look first. Like I'd be like, oh look, that's like completely. It looked like just they cut the grass and it looked right. He's like, no, those are power lines. You don't want to land where the power lines are. I was like, well, that looked like a perfect runway on the grass. He's like, no.
It does. It's just like I don't see any around
I don't either, because
if you don't have the parachute, and even when you do have the parachute, you're still trying to always like, if I lost my engine right now, where would I go? You know. And so in the Cessnas and the non-parachute planes, you have to do that. That's your only option. And so when you're flying, sometimes you'll be like, oh, that looks perfect. It's like this giant wide, like really long grass strip for like 20 miles. And it's like, no, those are power lines. You do not want to head towards power lines.
Got it.
But even here, you can see like technically speaking, this is that ring. Like this ring is, in theory, my glide distance if I lost my engine. So like I could make that airport, I can't quite see it, but there's an airport over there and there's an airport right behind us, like that one over there. I could make that without having to pull the chute, and so we would do that. Like, the chute is really like your last case scenario. I mean, even if you had a decent field, I'd probably choose to land in a field over pulling the chute if I could tell it was, you know, clear of obstacles and long enough and not you know.
Yeah.
But you've got to be above 600 feet AGL to pull the chute. And so, like right now at 7,000, let's say hypothetically, because we're getting to the point right now where, like, I can't make that airport behind us. It'd be very questionable whether you'd have to execute it perfectly to make this airport. So that's probably not going to happen, because there is going to be at least a 5-10 second, like, oh crap, what just happened factor when you lose your engine.
Yeah.
And so that's probably out of range now. And so at 7,000, you still have some time to kind of assess and make some decisions about, like, where would you go, what would you do, etc. And then as you get to, like, let's say here, we're probably,
Number 964 Hotel Bravo.
we're probably,
120.0.
let's round up and say we're at 2,000, round at 2,000 feet, we have 5,000 feet, so we probably would pull the chute at, you know, 3,500 after we realized we didn't like our landing options.
Gotcha. So when other people are talking, can they hear us?
No, I have to hold this button down.
Hotel Bravo, thank you.
This one. Yeah.
13. Number 40 Papa, fly heading 170, breakfast for descent.
How do you know when to respond to them?
They use my call sign.
What's your call sign?
328 Whiskey Hotel.
328 Whiskey Hotel?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing. Like, I don't have great hearing, and somebody said I'm not always a great listener or whatever, but like it's amazing, like when you start doing that was a real concern that I was going to be like able to do everything I need to do, but not able to like do the air traffic control piece. It's almost like you get like the special part of your brain that like I can be talking to you, I'm still listening to them, but as soon as I recognize like it's not me that they're calling up, like you just keep moving on, right?
Yeah.
But like if it is, like you usually will hear your call sign like shout out through all the noise.
40 Papa, descend and maintain 4,000.
Like it's a weird phenomenon. And you miss it sometime, and they'll get back on and they'll say it slower, or they'll say it louder, or you can start to hear their tone, like the tone in their voice, so that they start getting annoyed. And so then you perk up even if it's not yours, because you're like, wait a minute, did I miss my call sign? Or very real possibility too, they might jack up your call sign, and so they might be saying Cirrus 628 Whiskey Hotel, and or they might say Cirrus 328 Whiskey Juliet, and you're like, you tune out, but then you're like, wait a minute, that's close enough to my call sign, and they're getting aggravated, so maybe they don't have my call sign right, and it's fine.
The other thing that I was, like, when you were trying to write down what they were saying,
yeah,
like, that was,
Weber 2703.
I feel like I would have a hard time listening.
The lighting.
Like, and so, because I thought, like, you don't really write any of that down, you just listen.
Yeah.
But it's nice you having that pad.
Contact necessary.
Yeah. Most pilots have like
Yeah.
paper with them or pen, or
That
like
works better.
they used to always talk about like you want a shirt that how you can keep pen here so you can like write stuff down. Like Foreflight makes everything, even checklists. Like this is usually done, like you can see on my checklist, and I'm like, I mean, even whether you're running sound for Life.Church, tech for Life.Church in the morning, or you're flying a plane, it's always on. Like you see, like I have my phone when I'm doing like the checklist. Like, oh, did I check the batteries? Did I turn on the lights correctly? Did I shut it down in the right order? Whatever it is. Like you live and die by checklist when you're flying. And usually you've got this is the official checklist, and it's on the onus of the pilot to make sure if they're going to use a digital pilot checklist that it matches the actual checklist on the plane.
Number 328 Whiskey Hotel, if I haven't done it already, change to my frequency 120.07.
120.07, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
You're already here, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, 8 Whiskey Hotel. That's why I was a little confused. I was like, I'm already on that frequency.
402,
But you could do that. Foreflight, like, this app has, I honestly think it's the most amazing piece of iPad technology, because it's calculating, it's a backup to I can't use this as primary navigation, but hypothetically let's say this all died, and it's in theory not very probable for that, because these are independent systems, but let's say this all died. Like this is still giving me most of the information I need as a backup. You can see the altitude's GPS altitude and the ground speed's ground speed, and not airspeed, but you can see 199. This is 7,000, but this is 6,700 because of the GPS altitude that we're at. I could manage with just this information. The fact that the iPad can even just calculate all this just based on a GPS signal is like amazing.
Yeah.
And then you got all your charts, you got all your checklists, you got all your weather, you got all, I mean, it's just all there.
Awesome.
Yeah. We don't have to because it's clear today, but I always do what the airlines do.
Are you comfortable temperature-wise,
which
or are you
is
cold?
I back this up.
Okay.
I back this up with an approach, even if I'm not actually shooting the approach, because it's just one more piece of. You'd be surprised. I mean, there's stories every once in a while where like people land at the wrong airport, and so this just kind of backs up everything. What's my MDA here? 475. And load. There we go. This is getting reported from AWM.
Number 8 Whiskey Hotel, descend and maintain 4,000.
Down to 4,000, 8 Whiskey Hotel.
Maintain 4,000. Number 8 Whiskey Hotel, reaching 3,000, cleared direct to wind space.
Reaching 3,000, cleared direct to wit, 8 Whiskey Hotel. DeWitt traffic, CirruslyAB Whiskey Hotel, 6.5 to the north on the extended base, inbound for 17, DeWitt traffic. We're in a heading mode. I'm still going to simulate this, especially since I'm VFR now. So I put this into GPS approach mode. We're at 1,400 feet. Whoops. You're not going to intercept at that. So, hold on a second. So I put it in GPS mode, so now it will activate when it intercepts the glide path. Like, we're below the glide path right now, so this will come down and this will come in, and you're going to see it switch to GPS, and it's turning us right now directly to the runway. Nice. And so I'm going to put, we're at basically what would be the equivalency of a final approach fix. I'm going to put my first degree of flaps in, and I'm going to slow us down to a little bit. Let's do 21. DeWitt traffic, CirruslyAB Whiskey Hotel on final 5 miles to the north. For 17, DeWitt traffic. Alright, so you can see this is coming in. Right now I'm in altitude, so it's holding me at 1,400, but when this gets down to this bar right here, it's going to switch us over, and it's automatically going to descend us. Okay. And then I'm going to act like we're in IMC at the moment, and you're going to hear a minimums call out in the headset, and that's when I'll disconnect autopilot. But you'll see how late in the game that is. I might actually disconnect it slightly before, because I'm not sure I want to do that. Alright, mixture full rich. We got CDI, flaps are 50, 79. Got the airport, or got the runway in sight out there. You can see now it's descending us automatically. I'm going to slow us down to about 11. Manifold pressure. DeWitt traffic, CirruslyAB Whiskey Hotel, 2 to the north on final for 17, DeWitt traffic. Alright, so we're going to shoot this. Smaller planes are a little bit different in that sometimes you got to do a go-around. I mean, in big planes you do too, but I've only been on one go-around in 500 flights in a big plane. Every once in a while, you know, there might be animals on the runway or wind might catch you weirdly. So if we basically come down and then take back off, well, not a big deal, don't worry about it.
500.
But we'll plan on executing. We're 500 feet above. You'll hear minimum call out here shortly. You can see the autopilot's still flying it as if we're on an approach. We can put our other notch of flaps in because we're below 104. On the glide slope, we're a little low, but we're right on glide slope here, so we'll take that as okay. And in a visual, that's fine. All right, put a little bit of power so that we're at. All right, so you, like the plane's still technically landing itself at this point. We're at, I'm going to go ahead, so we're at minimum, so I'm going to disconnect the This is where we're out of the cloud if you're shooting a minimum approach. This is how close you can get to the airport and how close you can get to the ground if you're shooting an approach. Nice. All right, so a little fast. This airport is a little, that embankment's kind of weird. We might expect a little squirrely winds when we get up and over this, but we'll see. Nice, that's the first time I've done that. That's exactly what you want, which is you want to hear that, that's the stall warning. Natalie's never probably heard that before. That's the stall warning, which means you're about to stall, which is what you technically want to hear when you're landing.
Nice. The first thing you said, though, was, I've never done that before.
Oh.
Or that's the first time.
I gotta watch the order of my words, I guess.
That's the first time I've done that. Oh, okay, cool.
Never landed a
I'm not actually a pilot. The FAA did not need to know I did this. No.
That's amazing.